Hello and welcome to the Ell'Chemist, and this is Soul Talk Sessions with a Scorpio moon.
Rockets on the day.
Hello guys, welcome to episode 9, and I'm going to keep this intro real short and sweet because this episode coming up is going to be broken down into 2 sections because me and my friend recorded this a good couple of weeks ago now, and it was long. It was fucking long, so we're going to break it down into 2, and I'm not going to give too much away, just going to get into it. But buckle up for this one. This is me and a real old friend of mine. Her name's Pip. We met when I had my first job back in, oh my God, I don't even know. I was like 17, 18 years old at the time. So we've known each other for a really long time. We've seen each other through many different seasons of our lives, and we've reconnected recently. And this is just basically what we've got to say. There's a lot about everything. Some of it might be quite triggering. That will come in more than likely part 2 of this episode. But yeah, just have a listen and reach out if anything has been triggering, or if anybody's experienced the same kind of things that we're talking about in these coming episodes. But once again, just want to say apologies for being so inconsistent. This is what self-awareness does to you, right? And this is something that I'm realising. Something that really triggers me is inconsistency in my personal relationships, intimate relationships, friendships, everything like that. And when I take a step back and check myself, I realise I am so inconsistent in my own life when it comes to my own fucking business, when it comes to my friendships and relationships, and when it comes to doing things for myself. I am not practicing consistency with myself. So it's no wonder why that triggers me so much in other relationships. And that's just a thing of, the self-awareness is realising why something that somebody else does makes you feel a type of way so much. It's more than likely because you are being that type of way. And one of the important things also to remember is to broaden your perspective of where in your life this is happening. So I think 9 times out of 10, a lot of us will say, well, no, I'm not inconsistent, or I'm really loyal and I commit and I can do all of this, because you're only kind of laser focusing on how you show up in your relationship. So yeah, you might be really consistent in your relationships and you might be extremely loyal and committed and everything like that. But when you broaden that outlook, where else is it that you're actually not being consistent? And that's something that we might just breeze across, because I just thought about that this morning. It was like, fuck, I am being so inconsistent. It's no wonder why I feel like shit, underneath it all, I'm like, why am I feeling so heightened? Why am I feeling so hypervigilant? Why am I feeling like this? It's because I am not practicing consistency in the relationship with myself and my own life. So yeah, switching that up today, I think I've had some sort of revelation over the last couple of days, and this is happening. Oh my God, I've got so much to say as well, and that's all going to come in episodes after this. But for now, here we go. This is me and Pip just putting the worlds to rights. Buckle up and I'll catch you in the next episode. So I've got Pip here with me today, and me and Pip go back 20 years, is it?
Yeah, it was. I would say it's even longer than that, yeah.
It probably is now, isn't it? I
Yeah.
think so. I was 16 or 17 when I started.
Yeah, and I started there when I was 16, and I was there until just before my 20th birthday.
Yeah. Basically, we both worked at a place called the Pyramids, which was in Southsea in Portsmouth. It was like a swimming pool centre. And that was my first ever job. And that's when I met Pip, and we've just been besties ever since. Although we had a long period in between, but I think I was travelling and that one night.
Yeah, you were travelling, and yeah, I still checked in with you. I always looked at your photos whenever you'd post and stuff, and then you posted that you were coming back, and I still remember getting in contact with you then. And then we've reunited.
Rekindled. Oh, and I'm so glad that we have.
Yeah, I know.
I don't know what I would do without you now. I really don't. And especially because of everything that happens in our lives because we're both single.
Yep.
We've both had somewhat similar dating experiences, I guess. Or we've both had, you've had a previous relationship which wasn't fulfilling, didn't leave you with, you know, you didn't come away from it fucking skipping and singing, did you?
Well, no, not initially. I am skipping and singing now that I'm not with him. But yeah, it was a difficult one, difficult relationship.
Yeah, and we aren't going to talk too much about that today. We're gonna get into just our current dating experiences that we've had, because we've just been sat here chatting, and this wasn't even planned either. I was like, how about we record a podcast, because we've got a lot to say about some of these experiences that we've had, and some of them just as a bit of a disclaimer, they're a little bit heavy, so just buckle up, because some of it's not necessarily nice experiences. Like, we're sharing things that have happened, which I'm sure that a lot of other women have actually experienced as well, unfortunately. But it's just to show that these things are still happening quite more often than they should be, and we just need to be more aware of it, really, and like keep our fucking heads in place, because things are fucked. Literally, things are fucked. So first off, I'm just going to give everyone a little update on Mr. Ringwood. So Mr. Ringwood, obviously, I told you last time, he'd come back into my life, and I think actually it was that day that he was coming around my house. So that was a Thursday, I'm pretty sure, or a Wednesday, I can't remember, it doesn't matter. But anyway, he ends up coming around, and before I was feeling like kind of excited, because, you know, of how I used to feel about Mr. Ringwood, and it was all very like, oh my God, he's coming back. And I don't know, I wasn't that excited, but I kind of was, I don't know. But anyway, he came round, and fuck, yeah, I don't know. It was good. It was nice to see him again and catch up. And I'll tell you one thing though. Pardon me, edit that out. Or maybe not.
It's like me trying to be discreet with my cough there. Like, I'm like, do I need to fart, or do I?
I'm not even going to edit that out. But yeah, he came round, and one thing I was looking forward to. Okay, and sorry, just the quick like reason why I was looking forward to it is because Mr. A, who I mentioned in my last podcast and who I have spoken about before, his name's Mr. A now. He's still away, and I'm still sitting with my feelings of knowing that I'm hurt still because of, you know, the message that he sent where he said, I never said I love you and all of that shit. But I still have got feelings for him. It's a difficult one to try and explain, but I guess like reconnecting with Mr. Ringwood and Mr. Motorbike that was in my life for a very, very brief moment, and I'll touch on that in a bit as well. They were kind of like distractions, and I was thinking it's going to be good, because when Mr. Ringwood was around before, I was 100% digmatised, and I thought that the first time I kissed him, it was like fucking fireworks were going off, and it was like the best kiss I've ever had in my life, and it was amazing. And then this time, I was like, has he swapped bodies with someone who has no idea what they're doing or what? It just did. It nothing felt the same. It felt so different. Don't get me wrong, we hooked up, everything, but just wasn't really feeling it at all.
Doesn't that go to show you how important like connection is? Because you had built a connection with somebody else, nothing is now going to compare to that new connection.
Yeah.
Mr. Ringwood was an old connection that you had at the time, and that was why it was probably so electric. But now, because you've been with somebody else, trying to go back to that previous experience is never going to be the same.
Never, ever.
Never go back.
Never. even if this new experience isn't necessarily, you know, absolutely fantastic because of the things that Mr. A has done, but still, in comparison, like Mr. A, the ability to actually communicate with Mr. A, the connection that we did have, like emotionally, intellectually, physically, especially physically, like just all of that. It's more so like the negative experiences that we've had and how they've been handled or gotten through just put a likeness on it a little bit, and I feel like I'm maybe trying to justify it in my head because I am in the place of just being like, I miss him, and you know, and I know that I shouldn't, but at the same time, it was just so different. Like, I could communicate with him about things that were uncomfortable for me or didn't feel right or something, and he would actually communicate back, I guess, even though he doesn't even speak the same language, you know. Whereas with some like Mr. Ringwood, or not that I tried to with Mr. Motorbike, but if I would have, trying to communicate with somebody who speaks the same language is actually, I've found, is harder because they have no intellect like whatsoever.
Well, as we were saying earlier on about communication, it's like I really struggle with someone who cannot communicate at all. We've already spoken about some experiences earlier on today where it was like just people who can't talk, can't hold a conversation. But when you're in it with somebody who wants the same things as you, it becomes very easy to talk to someone, doesn't it? And I think that's what you had with Mr. A. You were both very much in it for yourself. It was very much a real experience.
Yeah. And I think that's what it is as well, is that he is a prime example of me being able to live out an experience where I can tell and I can read the emotional connection. I can feel it. He does admit it, you know, sometimes, but sometimes he doesn't. You know, when I said to you, oh, do you miss me? And he's like, no. You know, sometimes he'll be honest and sometimes he won't. Like, I get it. But with him, it's like I'm so much safer or in a place where I can say to him, if I said to him, did you miss me? And he says no, like that tells my body that he's he's avoiding how he actually felt. It's like I can feel that actually you do. So this is just an example, you know. Yeah. So I can feel that actually you do, or you did. You're just don't feel comfortable enough to say that you do. And if I say that to him, if I bring that up, he's like, oh, okay, actually no, yeah, I did miss you. You know, he'll
trying to save face, isn't he? Like, obviously, and be that masculine where he's not like letting into his feminine side. Like, no, I don't miss you, because that's not what a man does, isn't it?
Yeah, so. And I think actually that is why I'm still so attracted to him, because he's just such a man. He is genuinely the most masculine man I feel like I've ever come into contact with or had an experience with, because even though some of it's very toxic, that's his culture, and I'm not gonna write everything off as his culture and is this and is that, but he's just such a man. He thinks like a man, he behaves like a man. Mm-hmm. He's got his little you know, I don't want you to speak to other men thing. That's like a manly thing, but we'll get onto that. But like, it's just it's more attractive, basically.
But when you say to him, it's okay, and you show that reassurance that it's okay that you can talk about your feelings, it's okay if you miss me, and then, you know, on occasions he's going to say no, and he has been honest about it, but when he's gone, oh, okay, I did miss you, that's okay as well. And he obviously now feels in a safe place himself to let his guard down a little bit with you,
yeah,
which is actually a very reassuring thing coming from a man's man,
yeah,
perspective.
That's it. And he has said that before, actually. He said, like, you are the best person that I've ever met since I've lived here in Ringwood, like, yeah. And I trust you more than I trust anybody else. Like, I respect what you say to me more than anybody else's word. Like, and you know, I know that he means all of that because he can't lie. Like, yeah. He can't, whatever. So it is nice. But with fucking Mr. Ringwood, like, I can't remember, we were texting one day, and so I am going to read out like some messages, but we were texting one day and it was kind of giving me the ick anyway, because we were talking about summer, and I said to him, like, yeah, bring on bikini weather, and he was like, bikini, and put like 2 eye emojis, and it's like, gross.
It's just ick, isn't it?
Yeah, bikini. Ooh, like, have you not ever seen a woman in a bikini before? Like, what the actual fuck? And if anything, it's not, that doesn't make me feel desired.
It's just sleaze, isn't it? It's just utter sleaze.
Like, you could have said anything else, like, gross. And then we went on to say, because he said something like, yeah, bikini or nude if my neighbours aren't in, and he said, like, oh, I'd like to see that. And I was like, oh, maybe you'll be lucky enough to or something. You know, at this point, I'm just playing into it. I'm joking because I don't want him to fucking see me sunbathing naked. One, wouldn't want to sunbathe with him either. But I'm just playing into it. And then he's like, oh, you might have a fella by then. And I said, yeah, maybe. Who knows? You might have a girl. And he said, maybe. And I was like, imagine if it's me. And I was joking. I'm joking because for a start, I don't fucking want it to be. I don't want it to be me. It's just a funny thing. Anyway, he didn't respond to that for like the rest of the afternoon. I didn't hear from him all the next day. Anyway, the day after that, I get a text from him. And I'm going to read these out to you guys. And then afterwards, we're going to have a little moment just to find out what's wrong with these messages. So bearing in mind, I texted him last saying, imagine if it's me. Didn't hear from him for a day and a half. And then I get a message from him at 20 to 8 the day after this saying, work can leave me alone now, with 2 crying faces. I'm like, cool, okay, he's back. Here he is. With a statement, as always, about himself, of course.
I was just about to say that, like, this is all about you.
Yeah, no, like, how are you doing? What have you been up to? How's your week going? So I said, you've been working all this time? And he said, I worked today too.
Congratulations.
Fuck.
Most of us work.
God, it's already just painful, isn't it? Like, oh my God. And I said, sacrifice football for work sounds like an awful job. And he put, football got called off, so I didn't miss it. Oh, God. Okay. All right. And I just put, that's all right then. Because like, at this point, mate, I'm just responding to you to be polite because you're literally giving me nothing. And then he put, think I'm getting run down though, feel rough this evening. Okay. Sweet.
This guy is hard work.
I said, not surprised, probably due a rest. He put, I need a good sleep. I don't have to pick the kids up until 9, so I'll sleep till 8-ish. At that point, I just didn't even respond because, once again, what the fuck?
Did you die of boredom?
Yeah, pretty much. I just collapsed right there.
I'm fed up with talking about your favourite subject, which happens to be about you.
Yeah. And if anything, it's fucking boring because you're telling me nothing exciting here. You've been working too much. You feel rough. You get to have a lay until 8. What? If you haven't spoke to someone in a day, like, work can leave me alone now. Okay, first of all, you're just putting yourself back into my life after a day and a half with work stuff. We've been here before in September last year, Mr. Ringwood. I think you should remember that work and busyness doesn't fly with me. Like, I made that quite clear before. You know, I couldn't give a fuck about how much you're working. Like, the last thing that I want to talk about with anybody is work. I really don't give a fucking shit. Like, go and do your job and come and chat with me about something else.
But that's the thing. He can't separate the two.
No, he cannot.
He's and it's just like, when do you actually have time for yourself? And this is probably why you are so boring, because you cannot separate your work life from your home life, and you need that balance in order for any potential relationship, whether that be a family member or a romantic connection.
Yeah. And let's remind you that you are actually on a dating website, and I think I mentioned this in my last episode, like, in his profile it says what I want from dating or something, what I need from dating, and it says in there, I want somebody who knows what they want from the dating scene. And it's like, okay, that's fair enough, but do you actually even know what you want, and are you even available? Because it very much sounds to me like you aren't. Or maybe you are, but just not for me. Maybe, I don't know. And if not, fucking just tell me, because I'm not actually available for you either.
But
so
that's the
please don't
thing.
flatter yourself.
If you're not for him, that's absolutely fine. Like, I don't understand why people have this need to still, like, string people along, like, when they've already recognised that you're not the person that they want to be with. So I'm on a dating website to potentially open up my horizons to meet somebody. I'm not on there to make friends.
Yeah.
Like, I don't
need a pen pal.
I don't need a pen pal, no.
Yeah.
It's just, if you're not the person for me, I can quite happily tell you to your face, and I have no shame in it. Like, because there is no mixed messages, there's no cross wires. We both know where we stand at the end of it. And I can walk away from that thinking, I owe you fuck all.
Yeah, exactly that. And that's how it should be. Like, it's, I find if you are going to put yourself out there in dating, then maybe this is a fuck up from myself and maybe you, because we're assuming here, but you do assume that somebody is ready if they're on a dating website, and ready because in a sense of physically, you know, they're ready, they don't have any exes or they haven't just come out of a relationship or something like that. They can communicate, you know, ready intellectually and stuff like that, because they can communicate what they want, they know what they want intimately, emotionally, but just nobody is, literally no one, like, or they might be for a particular kind of person, which they're never going to get around to finding out if you or me or anybody that they're talking to is that particular kind of person, because they don't open up to it at the very start. They're just completely closed down from the beginning. It's like, so get the fuck off a dating website and go meet someone organically, because that seems like it might suit you better, but you're not going to do that because you genuinely have no emotional intelligence or confidence or ability to do anything, so just fuck off.
There is definitely like two forms of people on dating websites, I think. There are the ones that come out of their relationships and they feel like they've given themselves a week or a month.
Yeah.
And they're like, right, I'm ready to go back on the dating scene. It's like, no, you're not.
Yeah, you're just horny.
No, you're definitely not. You're horny, you're bored, and, you know, and that's fine. We have a journey in which we need to do in order to be feel okay and safe to be in a relationship again. And your journey is never going to be the same as anybody else's. So the point that you think you're ready, you're usually not. And then you've got the people that are, I know exactly what I want. The problem is what exactly you're looking for is Lara Croft, and she doesn't exist.
Yeah.
You know, I'm never going to be anybody else other than myself here. So, like, if you're not open to even attempt to get to know me, then please don't waste my time. Like, it's quite literally that simple.
Exactly that. Like, and nobody has that emotional or intellectual awareness, unfortunately. And we're sitting with the feeling of wanting to call that out.
Yeah.
You know, when we experience that from someone that we're dating, like, you want to call that out, don't you?
Yeah, absolutely.
But we're also getting to the point where we're realising that actually silence is better. We don't always need to call things out. But I think sometimes it is good. Like, it is. Even with Mr. Ringwood, I can't find the message. Maybe I didn't send it to you, but I sent him... It was after these messages that he sent me. What was the last one? He said, I need a good sleep, I don't have to pick the kids up. I just didn't even respond to him. But then maybe 2 days later, I thought, I'm not just going to leave it hanging here. Like, I am going to say something, because I want to shut down like any potential
pen pal,
or just assumption of any feelings or going anywhere or anything at all, like this ever happening again, because it's just not. So I sent him a message and I was like, hey, how you doing? Hope work's not killed you off, and you've had a good week. And then I wrote, I think it's just clear that there's not really a connection here between us. You know, it was really nice to see you again, but I think it's safe to say that we're just better off as friends, but take it easy. And his response was just like the perfect one to make me be like, fuck yeah, I've made the right decision, and I genuinely couldn't give a fuck about ever speaking to you again. Because his response back was... so, like, the very short part of my message at the beginning where I'm like, hey, how you doing? Like, hope work's not killed you off too much and you're having a good week. That short little bit, then I put a big paragraph to say, this is what I feel about our connection and blah, blah, blah. He responds back and he's like, oh yeah, work's been fucked and I haven't even made it to football, or I haven't done this. Like, he just gave me a little short paragraph once again about work and himself. And then he put, I appreciate the message, I really do. Wow!
No, you don't.
Like, what?
No, you're actually insulted because you've taken control of the situation, and that's your way of, I'm stunned, no one's ever done that to me before. That's exactly what that is telling me.
Isn't it just the most... I just...
I really appreciate that.
I appreciate that. You're welcome. And like, I don't know if I do just, I think about other people responding as myself too much, but if somebody sent that message to me, I wouldn't even bother responding to the top bit about work and whatever.
No.
I would just 100% respond to the emotional stuff that they've said to me, to be like, thank you so much for sharing that. Like, maybe that might have been hard for you, but I really appreciate that you've opened up, and I actually feel the same. Or, you know, there could have just been so much more response to that. So actually his response was perfect, 'cause it was like, oh my God, what on earth was I thinking before?
The thing is, if he was genuinely like interested, or even like in any way kind of feeling that actually, what have I just done here, there would be some motivation there to actually, you know, maybe respond with a message that wasn't about himself and come at you from a, okay, I don't like, where has this come from? Or actually, that's not how I feel, or I'm sorry, I've been distracted at the moment. You know, there would be some form of something there to give you some light. But his response just goes to show that, why couldn't you just own it and say, I'm not interested? There you go.
Yeah.
Like, and just...
Because that is what everything is saying. Even when he was here that night, or maybe it was after he left, but no, when he was here, like, he did say about how this new job that he's got, it is busy and this and that. And I was like, oh yeah, all good, because I'm really not, like, I'm not obsessed with you anymore. Like, once you've had my obsession once, you don't get it again. Like, that's done now.
Yeah, absolutely.
And then when he got home, like, he texted me and said that he had got home, and I said to him, oh, it was really nice to see you. And he said again, like, yeah, it was really nice to see you too, but like, I can't stress enough that work is really busy. And I was like, you know, I can't stress enough that I won't ever feel the same way about you again. It's like, it's all good. Like, I'm not looking at this as a long-term thing. And that was fine. It's like, we laid down the boundaries to be like, okay, this is what it is. But also for me, this isn't good enough for me to continue this on even no strings attached kind of thing, because there's nothing stimulating about this connection whatsoever, you know, like, at all.
But the fact that he had to turn around and say, oh, I'm stressing to you, like, work's really busy. The fact that you've got to resort to work as an excuse just because you can't own up to something is really childish anyway. It's it doesn't show a lot of courage, and it doesn't say a lot about you anyway.
Yeah.
In a good light. It's just so childish. Like, the fact that he had to come at you and say that. It's almost as if that whole, like, reverse psychology thing, isn't it? It's like, you'll fall in love with me, and then you'll fight against it, but then you end up doing it. Like, it comes across like that.
Yeah.
And it's like where are you coming from? Like, I just, like, what.
And do you think that makes you appealing? Like, when you make out like, oh, it's all just work and my kids, that is actually, like, an ick for me, because what do you do for yourself? Like, fantastic, you, like, spend this time with your kids when you've got them. Yeah, great, you're a dad. Like, that's pretty much what you're supposed to do. It is a choice that you had. So I'm not going to clap for you. Yeah, like,
no one's forcing you to do that. Yeah. Like, you chose to do it.
Well done, you're being a dad. Fantastic.
And the fact that, like, his job takes up a lot of his time. Like, I think someone who is, you know, career orientated, I used to find that a very attractive trait. And, you know, we all have ambitions and where we want to go. And I fully support that. But at the same time, I've definitely learnt with age that I think a home work-life balance is so important. So when I see somebody else in a career state where they're not doing that, I don't find that attractive anymore. It's very weird that how, just even the last couple of years, how I've really changed my sort of dating pattern and what I find attractive about that.
Yeah.
I like someone who likes to work. I like someone who, it doesn't matter what you do, as long as you're happy doing it and you enjoy what you do. I don't care what you do.
Yeah, yeah.
As long as you go forward every day doing what you love doing.
Yeah, that's it. And I think if somebody is making a job their life, when their job isn't, like, a passion of theirs, it's not something they've always wanted to do.
Yeah.
It's literally just a job that they're doing to get by and to make money. That's different as well. Like, if somebody wants to make work their life because it's their passion or it's their business or it's something that is genuinely like extremely fulfilling for them, and you can see how much joy and life and everything it gives to that person, fair play. But if you're talking about your job that you actually complain about all the time, you actually fucking hate it, but you're then telling me that you give all of your time to it, that doesn't tell me a lot about you.
No.
Doesn't tell me very good things about you.
It tells me that you're someone who's stuck in a place and doesn't know how to get yourself out of it.
Yeah, and you wouldn't even if you wanted to, because you're still in this job
and you're
that
not
you're
trying,
complaining about. Yeah, and like, gross. Don't shut the fuck up. Like, seriously, and I don't want to... Maybe it's too late for that. I was going to say I don't want to like slam him, even though
I believe that's what's been.
But I'll tell you what else it was as well. I don't want to talk about him that much because we do have a lot of other stuff to get into. But like when he was here, I said to him, "Oh, so like have you dated much since we saw each other?" And he was like, "Oh yeah, I've been on 3 dates," and he went on to tell me about them. And one of them he's told me about before on our date that we went on back in September. So I was like, okay, well, you're lying then, because you've already told me about this date. It was about a girl that you went on a date with that said cunt all the time. And I remember this because he told me that story when we went on our first date. So that couldn't have happened. You couldn't have had that date again, or you couldn't have dated another woman that says cunt all the time, surely. Like, but I didn't call him out on it because I was just like, I thought you can just sit there and lie. It's fine. Like, you know, all good. Then he told me about this other one and this other one. And then later on into the night, he made a comment where he's like, yeah, well, I've not done anything since I saw you. I've just worked. And it's like, well, you told me that you've been on 3 dates. He was, oh yeah, but they were just nothing, you know. It's like, okay, so you've pretty much just lied again. Like, you told me these make-up stories of these 3 dates that you've been on that clearly haven't happened at all. Or maybe you have, but they've maybe you're saying that you went on these dates, that you turned down these women. They've actually turned you down because you're fucking boring. Like, you're making it very clear that you've turned these women down. I'm starting to think maybe you didn't now.
He's a Billy bullshitter.
Yeah, massively.
Like, he's almost like filling a void, like by lying, but I think he generally believes it as well.
I think he does.
And that's such a shame that he has to be like that.
Yeah. Even about my podcast, when I said to him, oh, did you know that I knew that he knew, but I'm like, did you know that I put a podcast up? Because I started it pretty much after it happened between us. And he was like, oh, I might have seen something. I was like, have you listened to it? No. I'm like, 100% you have, to every single episode. I can fucking tell. I can tell. He's like, why have you mentioned me? I was like, yeah. And I was like, for somebody to ask that, like
I was going to say, like, isn't it so weird that he talks about him and then the first thing he asks you is,
did you talk about me? Funnily enough, yes, it was. And if you're listening right now, Mr. Ringwood, yes, we're talking about you again. But this will be one of the fucking last time, let me tell you, because I'm... Oh, God,
don't put any more energy into it.
No, I tell you what, let's move on. Bye, Mr. Ringwood. See you later. Right, gonna move on now just to these texts that I got this morning. Right,
okay.
So this is from a guy, I'm gonna call him Mr. Fucking...
Mr. Fucking?
No, he does not deserve that name. Let's be real. Mr. Suit. Mr. Suit, because he wore that suit the first time that he came to my house, and it was the biggest turn off ever. But so Mr. Suit, right? Back at the beginning of last year, I had not been with any men for like 3.5 years. I was still very much under the impression that I was just interested in women, had no desire to hook up with any men whatsoever. However, at some point, I was working with my mate doing this stuff, and I met Mr. Suit. Didn't really feel anything whatsoever for him at first. However, a thought did cross my mind of where I was like, oh, you know, if I was still interested in men or if I had any attraction to them, I probably would feel quite attracted to him. It's just the way that he was. He seemed quite masculine presenting, and he was just a real man, you know, and it was attractive, but still just didn't think anything of it. But anyway, he starts texting me at some point, and he expresses that he thinks that I'm fit, and I was like, oh, okay, interesting. Like, I kind of felt the same about you, but I'm gay, blah blah blah. Anyway, he's also oh, it's going to make me sound real bad, but he was also in a relationship. I didn't actually know this for sure until he did come to my house, and he said that he was in a long relationship, that they don't love each other anymore, they're just in it for convenience and time, whatever. I was like, okay, you know, all good, I'm just going to take that out of it and just see this as my experience and try not to think too much about that, because I'm not a home wrecker and I never would want to be one, but we've all been there, okay?
But at the same time, the onus is on him for his relationship. Like,
yeah, it's not up to me. It's not my...
Yeah, it's not something that... And I know that's going to be difficult, and some people are going to probably be screaming at your channel right now as I say this, but the onus is on them and not with you.
Yeah, 100%. And yeah, we'll go with that for sure, because it is. It's not my problem. And like, he's the one who's got to go back and deal with that at the end of the day. I just get to live my life, you know?
Yeah.
But anyway, he comes around and we don't waste any time, get into it. And I'm immediately disappointed because he was a shit kisser. You know how we feel about shit kisses. Yeah. It's like immediately put me off. I was like, oh, God. But anyway, we end up doing some stuff. Long story short, he couldn't get it up. And then he eventually did. And then that was like, over in a minute or something. It was really just... it was just so, I was like, what the fuck, I haven't been with a man for 3.5 years and this was my first experience back with a man, like, oh, what a letdown. But he leaves, and we send like a couple of texts to each other after this, but then he ends up freaking himself out, and I really wasn't in any like rush or had any desire whatsoever to meet up with him again anyway. But he's freaked himself out and he's like, look, I feel really terrible for what I've done and I can't see you again. And I'm like, okay, that's fine, no worries, like, all good.
Yeah.
I don't really speak to him. There was maybe a couple of months after or a few weeks after or something, he has gone out for like a works do, and I get a text from him to say, I'm getting I need to scratch the itch again, or I'm getting the itch again. And I just said, you better get that seen to then, and left it as that, because ew, go away. And then, weirdly enough, the other day I was in the gym and I spotted this guy in there that I know is friends with this Mr. What do I call him? Suit, yeah. Suit. Mr. Suit. I know he's friends with Mr. Suit, so I started thinking about Mr. Suit. I was like, oh, fuck yeah, I wonder what he's doing. I haven't heard from him in a while, or, you know, whatever. He just crossed my mind anyway. Next morning, I wake up and I've got 2 texts from Mr. Suit. And I was like, weird. He's texted me at 3 a.m, which says it all. And it says, like, hey, how's it going? Long time no speak. I text back the next day and I was like, wow, getting messages at 3 a.m, like, says whatever it says. Can't remember what I said there, but I was like, I'm also good. Weirdly enough, I thought about you yesterday because I saw your mate. Are you gonna sneeze? Achoo!
Achoo, yes. I wanted to stop you somewhere mid-flow.
I was like, does she want to say something or is she gonna sneeze? Bless you, doll. But then he said, so I didn't hear from him after I texted him back. And I'm just going to go through these texts that I've actually got from him this morning. So, woke up and he had responded back to my text to say, oh, really? Who'd you see? And he said, are you still working at blank? Asking me if I'm still working at the company that I was when I met him. And then he texted me and said, you miss me.
This is where we need to learn from Mr. A. No.
yeah, exactly. And that's where I actually did learn from him. So he's been a great lesson for me, Mr. A. But I said, oh, I think this guy's name is blank, and this place that I used to work for, no, I haven't worked there for almost a year now. You knew that I left. And he put, you went back though, didn't you? And then he put, anyway, don't swerve the question. You miss me. And I said, haha, no. And then he sent back a gif of, who's the guy from Anchorman? It's Will Ferrell, but in Anchorman he's whatever. But the part where he's crying in the fucking... Actually, yeah, that is Anchorman. The one where he's crying in the phone booth. He sent me back that and said, gutted, I've been thinking about you a lot. And I said, really? Why? And he put, silly question, isn't it? Can't stop thinking about... Oh, God, am I really going to say this? He said, can't stop thinking about how you taste.
Right, first question that's popping into my head, and I don't know if this is the right or the wrong question here, but is he still with his partner that he was with when you two first
Whatever that was.
whatever, yeah, because let's just call it what it was, a waste of time.
Yes.
Is he still with that girl?
I'm assuming that he is, yeah. I haven't asked the question, but I'm very much assuming that he is.
The same girl that he felt so guilty about what he had done. And the fact that how it came about, and that at that point, that should have been everything. Like, okay, let's just assume up until that point he was completely and utterly devoted to this one woman, and then, you know, had some form of rendezvous with you where it's like, oh my God, that can never happen. What the hell have I done? He's going to like beat himself up every day. And then comes at you and he's basically coming to you directly despite having all those feelings of shame and everything else. And he's actually going on the hunt for it now. What a dick.
After almost a year as well. It's like, okay.
If your relationship's not working out, end it.
Yeah.
Like, for me, regardless of whether, and I know as a person who doesn't have children, this might sound a bit cold and callous, I do have parents that are separated, and how damaging it is to have two parents that are trying to stay together for the sake of the kids is more damaging.
They don't even have kids either.
Wow. Well, then I don't know what the hell he's doing.
No. Well, I think there is a child, but it's not the one that they've got together. There's a child, maybe, either on her side or his side, I can't remember. But it's not together. But yeah, they don't have...
He was with her. She was...
He was with her.
They're together.
And they're together. Me and Pip love quoting Lee Evans, like, whenever we possibly... So he was with her, and they're together.
Oh, these intrusive thoughts.
But yeah, and when he was here, he made a thing about how, like, we've been together for all these years, like, I love her, but I'm not in love with her. And actually, the reason why we're still together is because I've been through... She was with me through what was going on with my kids. So maybe it's something to do with him. And I was still with her when she lost her dad. I'm like, okay, cool. None of those things give me any indication as to why you guys are still together.
Exactly, and that's what I was exactly going to say. Like, if you respect this person, that you love her so much that you're not in love with her, but at one point, this was the person that you put on a pedestal. This was your absolute everything at one point in your life. And you have some form of connection and bond that has kept you two together for that length of time, and you respect her enough for that. Let her go.
Yeah.
Like, why are you still with her? And
yeah. Exactly.
At least if you think that this is not going to be somewhere where you can build on and sort of like try and work towards getting that back, because that seems like too much hard work, let her go.
Yeah.
And let do that for yourself as well.
I was about to say that, yeah, do it for yourself, because what the fuck are you doing?
Yeah.
Like what the fuck are you doing?
I never understand people that stay in these relationships when you're just going to go down this road and it's going to just get deeper and deeper and deeper and deeper.
Yeah. And that's collateral damage. You're using that other person as collateral damage, and it's just not fair. Like, that happens far too much. That people end up being collateral damage just because somebody's not been able to be honest with themselves about their own feelings. It's like just go get therapy. So many people just literally.
I know, and I wonder, like, you know, from his perspective, has he even asked her if she feels the same way about him? Like, and if she feels that way, the same, it's just a case of them two need to have a conversation to go, I'm not in love with you anymore, neither am I. What are we still doing? Like, at that point, you could separate here and have, like, that respect for each other, just to, like, go, yeah, let's just leave this. Let's walk away. Let's just leave it. But, you know, if she is still in love with you, you then need to ask yourself, like, is this something you want to try and work on to rebuild? Or is this now too far down the line where you're like, I don't want to hurt you any further. and I need to do this for me. This relationship isn't working. I need to walk away from it.
Yeah.
And I know that's going to hurt you, and you're going to hate me for a long old time, but hopefully in time you will meet somebody that will be able to give you everything that I can't give you anymore.
Yeah. More people need to do that, but
yeah, absolutely.
it's definitely not happening. But after he texted that saying can't stop thinking about how you taste, I responded and said, oh, with the little sweat face, well, I can quite confidently tell you that thinking about it is as far as you're ever going to get to tasting it again. And he responded saying, well, that's very disappointing. Is it because I was a big chicken? And then followed that up by saying, I don't even get a second chance to not be a bellend. Which I, like, before I talk about my response, I thought that was really weird for him to say that, because it's like, what you've done is immediately taken me saying that's going to stay in your mind as you've made it about you again. Yeah. Like, these men, you've made it about you. Oh, because I was a big chicken. Oh, am I not going to get a second chance? What has this got to fucking do with you?
Yeah, exactly. This was my decision. This is about me.
Yeah.
I don't want this to happen.
Literally. Like, it's got fucking nothing to do with you. And that's why I said it's genuinely got nothing to do with how you were or any second chances. I'm just simply not at all interested. And he put, damn, savage, lol.
I've got to love that. Everyone puts a lol at the end of their message when they're like, ouch, that hurt. You just stabbed me, but lol.
Yeah, lol, funny. And I said, it's not savage. I'm just being honest. We haven't spoken in months and you think you can just slide back on into my messages talking about you miss my taste. Like, I'm going to just melt into that. Like, wow, oh my God, I've been waiting for you. Please come taste me again. Yeah, no. Oh my God, that is just the message I've been wanting. I wanted to wake up to that today on this Monday morning. What time was that? 10:39 a.m. that I sent that message. Where he messaged me at like 8 a.m. Like, Jesus Christ, like, okay. But I just said, yeah, no, absolutely not. I've lived many different lifetimes since we hooked up and I respect myself a whole lot more than this. So sorry, but I'm good. And then he put, yeah, fair. Sorry, I didn't think about it like that. And once again, here he goes, making it about him. Mm-hmm. I've been a rude cunt in that respect. I mean, no, you haven't. Like, if you want to think you've been rude, you haven't. You've just been completely disassociated from the situation here. I get lost in work and just assume everything's the same when I get back to it. Again, like, is he calling me work? Like, what the fuck? I'm sorry if I made you feel shit. Was never my intention. Again, I've not said that. I've not said you've made me feel... You haven't. Like, you... Shut up, making assumptions. You haven't
had that much effect on me.
Yeah, like, please, don't flatter yourself. And then, so even after I've quite clearly said I'm not interested, that's going to stay in your mind, I'm good. After that message, he's put, but I do still think about you a lot.
Well, that's really nice. You can carry on doing that.
And I put, you haven't made me feel shit or anything at all. I appreciate you explaining and whatever, but it's really not necessary, honestly. It's all good. I'm just not interested. He put, cool, well, that's good. And then 20...
There goes his teddies.
20 minutes later, he messages me again. Well, if you do ever feel the need to scratch an itch, call me. Okay, so, right, guys, let's just talk about how that conversation... is triggering. Why is it? Why do we think that is? Has this man listened to anything that I've said in those text messages? I've said I'm not interested. I'm good. You can keep your fucking thoughts about how I taste in your mind. Thank you very much. Like, just not happening. But he still said, okay, well, if you do ever feel the need to scratch an itch, call me. Like, what?
It really annoys me how guys seem to do this. And obviously I've told you more recently about a guy who I went on a date with who done exactly the same thing. I didn't fancy him. I told him, you know, that's how I would like someone to tell me, like, to my face. It takes a lot of courage, even if it was something I didn't want to hear. But I will tell him to his face. But came away from there like, yeah, but if you ever did want to, you know, hook up or anything else like that, you know, just give me a shout. Why would I do that? Why would I can't even envisage the thought of kissing you, let alone jumping on your dick.
Yeah. Like, why would you even want somebody who is not interested in you to hit you up?
Yeah, but then
Why would you want that?
But is that like an insecurity thing? Because, like, you know, I know that me and you, we're quite strong-headed women, aren't we?
I'd like to think so.
Where we kind of, we know what we want, in a sense of, we're not rude about it. It's just the case of that's not for me, and we don't mind telling people that, and we don't mind hearing it either. But some people just really don't react well to that.
No.
And they really don't take it as well as what we do.
No, they don't, unfortunately. And I think it's also like, if we can't, like, this will actually bring us quite nicely onto what I want us to discuss next. Because if we can't say to a man what we actually want, you know, and be listened to, like, I don't want this, or I'm not interested in you, you know, to a man who we're dating, or to a man who is our friend, or any man in our life in that sense. If we can't even say that without it being listened to, then when are we ever going to be safe around men? Exactly. Whether that is someone that we're dating or our friends, because quite clearly here, even though saying to someone, I'm not interested, he still said, yeah, well, the door's still open. Well, I don't want it open. Like, I need you to understand that you can close and fucking bolt that door for the rest of your life, because it's never going to be knocked by me. And I want you to, like, I don't feel safe. Not that I need him to make me feel safe, but these responses don't make me feel safe, because you're disregarding my feelings for your own. Being
heard, are you?
Yeah. And it's just, if we can't let a man know, or anyone that we're dating, obviously we're talking about men now because this is including men, this will still be the same for a woman as well, either coming from a man or coming from a woman, but we're going to go with the men for now. Like, if we can't do that without them respecting it and taking that away and dealing with how they want to respond to that themselves rather than putting it onto us, then we're literally fucking doomed. And it's no wonder why there are still so many women that are single, because we're never going to get that respect.
And why so many women are now seeking that in another woman?
Because
they're not being heard by men, and this is it's like something that we both have previous experiences in, isn't it? Like,
we do have the experiences
we're not being heard
in that, and with people that you would assume would be extremely open to hearing you. So that, like, the what we want to get into now isn't necessarily it's not like the nicest stuff to talk about. It might be quite triggering for some people, because it is talking about, what's the word, sexual
it's violation, isn't it?
Violation, yeah. It's basically talking about that. There is a couple of other messages on here that I wanted to read out, but I can get into that another time, because I think this is more important, because we, especially right now with everything that is going on in the world, with all this Jeffrey Epstein stuff, just the elite people, men basically in power, they're all fucked, and us women are like, our safety has got to be the most important things for us right now, and being very aware of where we need to start sticking up for ourselves is one of the most important things. It literally doesn't matter who that is against, whether it be someone that you've been friends with all of your fucking life, or a work colleague, or somebody that you are dating. If at any point you are made to feel uncomfortable or unsafe or something like that, then we need to be taking our power back from that situation and maintaining it, because these things happen too much.